Hello, and welcome to your very first lecture in Infant and Toddler Care and Development, also known as Child Development 125 at Modesto Junior College. My name is Dr. Jessica Brennan. You're welcome to call me Jessica or Dr. Brennan, whichever is most comfortable for you. Each week, you will have a lecture video to watch with some quiz questions that pop up while you're watching the lecture. You will receive full credit if you watch the entire lecture and answer the questions correctly. You will have the opportunity to go back after you've watched the full video and change your answers if you didn't answer them correctly in the first place. So keep that in mind, and let's dive into our introduction on infant and toddler education. So first, I want you to stop and think for a minute. Is it true or false that an infant toddler's teacher's job is to teach children specific skills and information in order for the child to develop? Hopefully you answered false. The time that we spend with infant and toddlers, we're going to be doing a variety of things, but we're not going to be helping them learn very specific things. We're not teaching them the ABCs. We're not teaching them how to add 1 plus 2. Instead, we are supporting their development in multiple domains because we know that that overall support is helpful to them learning later. We're going to have a few resources that we go back to throughout these 7 weeks. And PITC, the Program for Infant and Toddler Care, is one of the philosophies that we will be looking at. And they say infant and toddler care is neither babysitting nor preschool. It's a special kind of care that resembles no other. So that is to say that it is not possible really to compare this to other educational options. Instead, infant care looks different. So how is an infant toddler teacher different from a babysitter or an elementary school teacher or a parent? Well, a babysitter's job is to keep the baby alive, right? And so although some babysitters do engage with playing, they often engage with feeding and putting to sleep, those sorts of care activities. They are focused on the end goal, keeping the child alive until the parents get home. What we do as an infant toddler teacher is, of course, we keep them alive, but we look at those caregiving tasks and determine how they can focus on curriculum. So I can change a baby's diaper who's laying up on the changing table, just put them up there, take their diaper off, put their diaper on, put them back down, and that's the end of it. Or I can pick them up, put them on the table, say to them, we're going to change your diaper today. Okay, lay down. Now I'm opening the diaper. Oh, what are you looking at over there? I see you looking off to the side. Do you see your friends playing? You'll be able to join them as soon as we're done. Those sorts of things. Hopefully that makes sense in the comparison, that we are not just getting a task done, but also considering the child's development while we're doing it. An elementary school teacher does have to teach specific things. They need to be able to teach the child what they need to pass standardized testing. They also need to teach them the information that we expect children to know. Think back to when you were in elementary school and think about some of the things you learned there. I bet you learned the names of the state capitals. I bet you learned how to read and write, those sorts of things. We're not quite that in depth at infant toddler level. Instead, as I said, we're supporting their overall development. A parent engages in all the same caregiving tasks that we do, and they may focus on their child's development while they're doing it. But parents don't have the luxury of being able to spend 8 hours directly focused on their infant and toddler because often there are other tasks that take precedence, such as cooking dinner, keeping the house clean, doing the laundry, interacting with siblings, taking children to different sports lessons, and so forth. And of course, a job, which is often one of the reasons why their child is in infant and toddler care to begin with. Another program that we will refer to their philosophy often is NACCE. That is the National Association for the Education of Young Children. There's also a California branch known as the California Association for the Education of Young Children. And they say that the standards for infant toddler programs should include relationships, curriculum, teaching, assessment, health, staff competencies, families, community relationships, physical environment, and of course should be focused on leadership and management from a top-down perspective. These are not very different from the program standards that NACCE suggests for preschool programs, but the key component here is that focus on relationships, and that being the first standard that they've listed. So what is an infant and toddler education? Well, it starts with curriculum as the foundation, and it should have intentionality behind it. I'll talk a little bit more about each of these in the coming slides. You should be assessing the effectiveness through observation and reflection and facilitating problem solving through a problem-based approach. So what is infant curriculum? Well, as I mentioned, infant curriculum isn't just teaching them the ABCs or having them sit at circle time. Instead, infant curriculum is looking for ways to support their development through their everyday tasks that are being done. So I mentioned diaper changing as an example. We could also engage in curriculum during feeding, right? So if we have a 9-month-old and we have, they are working on self-feeding, maybe we put different foods down on a tray. We could put applesauce, we could put Cheerios, and we could put, I'm trying to think of another example, pasta, right? And we, as the child is feeding themselves, as we see them grab a handful of applesauce, we could say something to the extent of, "Oh, yeah, that applesauce is squishy, isn't it? Do you like it? It tastes sweet." And as they pick up the Cheerios, and that pincer grasp that at 9 months is often very hard to get going, we can comment on that. "Oh, yeah, those Cheerios are a little hard to pick up, but you're picking them up with your fingers and putting them in your mouth." That sort of thing, where we're taking these normal, regular caregiving tasks and turning them into a curricular moment. We also want to be sure that we are observing the child's development so that we can assess the effectiveness of our curriculum. I'm going to post a link to this video in the next page so you can see how we observe and assess. And we'll have an opportunity to learn more about observation later on this semester. We also want to facilitate some problem solving. So I'm going to play this video. I realize you won't be able to hear it very well, but this is my sister patiently waiting for my nephew to try and figure out how to get into this car.
Got it, dude? Yeah. Done. Nope, it's not food. Thank you. Hey, dude. You're fine. Thank you.
So that was Colin. He is now 8.5 years old as of recording this in March 2025. And he finally figured out how to get in that car. But what we see happening is my sister is standing back and observing him. And she could step in and show him that when put him in the car and close the door so he could understand that, or she can watch him do it, give him encouragement, and that facilitates problem solving. And so we want to try to do things like that around a lot of different areas of development with young children. Sorry, didn't mean to hit play again on that. Okay. Another resource that we will use in this class is RIE, the RIE philosophy, which stands for Resources for Infant Educators. And in RIE, it is suggested that we involve infants and toddlers in the things that concern them. We invest in quality time. We learn each child's unique way of communicating. We invest time and energy into building a total person. We give respect to infants and toddlers as worthy people. They're not just babies, they are people. We are honest about our feelings. We model the behavior that we want to teach. We recognize problems as learning opportunities. We build security by teaching trust. And we are concerned with the quality of development in each stage. So we're not just waiting for them to get to the next stage. We're concerned with the quality in each stage. And you're going to be doing a reading about RIE philosophy this week. We also really want to consider culturally appropriate practice. We need to understand families' perspectives and goals for the children, and we need to make sure that our program structure is accommodating to the family's perspectives and goals. We want to recognize children's flexibility and resilience in negotiating multiple learning contexts, and we want to work to understand peer culture so that we can foster classroom community between our students. We want to be intentional about culturally appropriate practice, which means that we are ensuring when we have a kitchen play area, we don't just want to have kind of the standard Western American cooking implements, right? Like a stove with a frying pan and a pot with a pan and a microwave. We might also want to ensure that we have a wok and a comal and a tortilla press, things that children may be seeing in the kitchen areas of their own home. Similarly, when we build a dramatic play area and we have clothing that children can dress up in, we want to make sure that it is not just focused on princesses and cowboys and those sorts of things. We want to have multiple jobs offered. We want to have garments from other cultures and ensure that children are being exposed to culturally appropriate practice in the classroom. And that finishes up for today. This lecture is a little all over the place because it's really just an introduction, but hopefully you'll enjoy the weeks to come. Have a great week.